Let's run it. It's FT Live, Braun, Kratz, and introducing the great Jerry Blevins as a guest host with us today. And just the most perfect timing by the FT fam to know when David Stearns was going to be joining the Mets, kind of officially. But Jerry, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I told them to hold back on the signing until I go live here. They tried to push it back, but I'll take it as is. I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's really great to have you, dude. Looking forward to your uncensored takes here on Foul Territory for the day. We're going to talk to Brandon Woodruff coming up in just a sec. And also later, we'll talk to Kiké Hernández. A lot of news to get to. Woody's going to join us in just a moment. Very also timely to have Woody on today.
Yeah, big woo. David Stearns. Let's go. This is it.
Exactly. So we'll ask Woody about it, and then we'll get to our takes on David Stearns, which I guess the one thing I'll throw in there while we're waiting for Woody, he's just about ready to go, is Bob Nightingale goes, worst kept secret in baseball.
Right.
Finally happening.
Like nobody's gonna give this one.
What? Shocker.
I think it is a shock that the New York Mets actually got their guy, though. You know.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
That's a little
I
bit
like
of a
that.
Shocker.
Yeah, right. Like you could have all of this kind of lead up, and then it's he decided he wants another year to hang out
with the fam.
Who knows, right?
Or just take over the team that he grew up watching.
That plus the money is probably good too. Let's bring in our first guest right off the jump here on FT Live. It's Brandon Woodruff. First of all, Woody, welcome back, man. We haven't talked to you since the grand comebacks. We have a lot to get to. How you doing? And the beard's looking real strong for you.
Yeah, no, doing good. I feel like it has been a while. So schedule just hasn't worked out, but it worked out great this morning and some good timing.
Hell yeah. Good timing on so many fronts. So we'll get to you. I know you'd rather talk about others that you're friends with. So let's start here. You knew David Stearns for a long time. So does the guy next to me.
Right.
Tell us about what he's like and what you think about the news. And do you agree it's the worst kept secret in baseball for a while?
I don't think it's the worst. I think it's been out there for a little bit now. I saw the news this morning, and David is he's an awesome guy. Look, he's very, very smart, and he knows what he's doing. I go back to 2018, and I was up and down, I think 5 or 6 times that year, and I didn't really understand why I was having to go through that. But looking back on it now, I think every decision that David made and the people helping him, it was for a reason. And I mean, he's one of the best in the game. He took Milwaukee, who are not a big market team, but we went to the playoffs. They're 4 years in a row, missed it by a game, essentially in 17, and then last year missed it by a game or two there at the very end. So what he has done, with his short time in Milwaukee was just with the resources he had is honestly unbelievable. And David's a good guy, and he's like I mentioned, very smart guy, and now that it's going back home for him, so that's good for him.
Can a country boy like you see yourself playing for the Mets? Because I get it. Like you can say all this nice stuff about him, but
right.
Somebody, Big Will's going to be a free agent, and they don't got Cracker Barrel up in New York, right around Queens there.
You got to get out of town a little bit to get Cracker Barrels. I mean, we were just there a couple days ago for the Yankee series, and it was let's just say the place is not like home. That's for sure. I'm definitely not used to New York. It's a place that kind of overwhelms me a little bit, but who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Hey, Woody, this is Jerry Blevins. I wanted to say, I speak on behalf of a former Met. I'm also a country boy from Ohio a little bit.
Yeah.
There are Cracker Barrels to be had, and
okay.
Their clubhouse can have that catered in for you. I'm sure that would be doing it. But is there a sense for you? I know free agency is further on the horizon. You're
right.
focused on now. But are you wide open to working with Stearns again? Is that something that you would even consider, or is that, one of the back burners on just getting through the season healthy and strong and winning for the Brewers?
Oh gosh, man, this is, it's crazy to sit here and think about having this conversation of free agency as a ball player. That's like your dream to get to, right? That's you have the privilege of picking where you want to go, but that is literally the furthest thing from my mind right now. That is so far in the distance right now, and I'm completely focused on this team and trying to get back to the playoffs. I think after last year, leaving that sour taste in our mouths, we want to get back there bad. And we're coming down the stretch here where the Cubs are playing well, we're playing well, and it just seems like there's going to be that last series at the end of the year. It's going to be pretty intense. We'll see what happens, but no, I'm completely focused on our team and trying to win baseball games at the moment.
How focused were you in the ninth inning yesterday when you were getting ready to do something? I'm gonna ask you some numbers after this, but how focused were you last night?
Gosh, super weird. You know how baseball just really works. Like we just no hit the Yankees through 10 in the third innings the day before, and then ended up losing in 13 innings. And it was a long game. We get back. It was funny. I was talking to my wife, Joni, and I was like, I just had one of the worst throwing programs that I had all year the day before in New York. It was raining out. Didn't feel great. My changeup was crappy. And then show up and I'm like, I don't know how today's going to go, but I'm going to go out there and see what happens. And, lo and behold, first career complete game shutout. And it's just the game of baseball is so funny. But yeah, no, it was a good day yesterday, and just thankful to be able to get through that one. But yeah, I was nervous as all get out, man. I think once I realized, I'm going back out for the night, and I knew this game was mine, and it kind of set in there, and I've never been in that position before. My heart's just racing for no reason other than I just really wanted to finish the game bad, and the first two pitches weren't even close to the ninth inning, and I had to step off for just a second. I'm talking to myself good Lord, just throw the ball over the plate, man, And so yeah, that's what I had to do, and just try to get back to throwing the ball over the plate, and was lucky enough to finish it off.
Yeah, you know why you've never been in that situation before? Because you've had one manager in your entire career. You know how many complete games counts is allowed to happen?
Let's see. Jimmy Nelson was one. I watched it. Adrian Hauser.
Yep.
Adrian Hauser. And then I would say myself last night. So there's probably only been, unless there's more than three, I don't know the other ones.
It's four, but it was before you. Jungmann was out there. That was I think that was Counts' first year. But
okay. Yeah,
Counts isn't going to let you get that CG. And you were like, how much fighting was it? Was it like you and Hookie going, hey, let me go back out there? Or were they like, hey, you got 90 pitches. Do you think you're going to be able to do okay when you're back out there?
So I'll tell you exactly what happened. We had the long inning there in the sixth that put us up. I guess it was 11-0 or whatever it was at the time. And the conversation was, I'm not oblivious to what's going on. I know my pitch count's good. I know kind of what the conversations are in the dugout between the pitching coaches and Counts and what's going on. And there's a big lead. Do we send him back out there, or, the game's kind of in hand? I understand all that's going on. But also too, as a competitor, there's zero chance I'm wanting to come out of the game. So after the sixth, there was a conversation of, hey, if there's another long inning, maybe this might be it or whatever. Asked me how I was doing. I said, I'm doing good. So then I get through the seventh, a little bit of a longer inning after the long sit in the dugout, and then go back out for the eighth. And it was just like a 8-pitch inning. It just happened super fast. And so then that's where coming in, I could see Counts kind of pacing around a little bit in the dugout and wanting to go to the phone. And I kind of just looked at him with a look. And so then once I get in, I do my normal thing, sit my glove down and stuff. And then he looks at me, or I look down at the end of the dugout, and he kind of motions me into the tunnel. And he starts going. He's like, "Hey, this is kind of talking about they might go to the bullpen." And I just give him the look. I'm like, "Counts, I got it." I said, "I got this. I want to finish it off." And he sit there and he thought about it for a second. And he goes, "Okay." He goes, "Not a pitch over 105. And I said, "How many pitches am I at?" I didn't even know how many pitches I was at. I knew it was kind of low. And I was at 91 pitches. I said, "Okay, I got it. I'm going to finish it off." And so then it's like, all right, I know I got like 14 pitches here to work with. They've been aggressive, so let's just go out here and finish this thing off. And man, my heart was racing. Couldn't throw the ball over the plate. And I'm thinking, my God, like I'm going to ruin this ninth inning. And then I get an out, or I get a pop up, I get another out, and then of course, you know me, Kratz, like if it comes down to it, man, I'm throwing the heater. Like if the whole stadium knows it's coming, it's probably coming. That's just how I've always been. So I probably could have threw the rosin back there 0-2 to try to wrap that thing up and give up a base hit. And then I had a broken bat, and the bat almost hit me in the back. I'll fall over, I slip. And I'm thinking to myself the whole time, like, man, I'm not going to get this done. So then 2 outs comes up, and Gary Hampson just hit that single up the middle, and I'm at 104 pitches. And I'm very well aware of what's going on. And I look up and I see William coming out, to the mound, and I'm like cussing myself in my mind. And I look over to the dugout and I don't see Counts coming out. So then I look back at William, like, what the heck's going on? He's kind of pointing at himself like, hey, I called it, just to give you a break. So then once I realized that was going on, I was like, all right, I'm getting this done right now. And we had a brief discussion about what we wanted to do first pitch, and he suggested changeup. I said, nope. I said, I'm throwing a first pitch fastball. Let's get this over with. And lucky enough, he popped it up and was able to finish it off. And I went 1 pitch over the limit. Just kind of funny how it works out.
Ah, that's beautiful. You mentioned that you took a step back after those first 2 pitches coming back out into the ninth.
Yeah.
You wanted to reset yourself. Like, what are those like things that you say to yourself, especially with the new pitch clock and that minimal amount of time to be able to readjust? What is it that you said to yourself to get back onto that strike throw?
Kind of lighthearted, just like, come on, man, like throw the ball over the plate, quit being an idiot. Just like you've been doing it all night, and just settle yourself down. It's kind of very, very brief and innocent in a way. It's just like, all right, lock back in, take your time, knowing I got 15 seconds here, so it happens pretty quick, but nothing crazy other than just get back to what you've been doing the whole night.
Is it just for fun? Is it in the third person? Or are you saying, all right, Woody, or all right, Woo, let's go? Or is it you can do this?
I don't exactly remember. I do sometimes refer to myself as I'm like, come on, Big Woo, man, dadgum, like let's get in here and throw the ball over the plate. And I mean, it wasn't even close. Like like the first 2 pitches, I was like, my God, my heart is like racing, And just come on, man, let's get back over the plate and try to make some pitches, and that was about it.
Yeah, Brent, when do you ever get out there and call yourself by your first name, or just like by your fictitious Marvel made up name of Big Woo?
I think honestly, it's if I do call myself, I'm definitely not saying Brandon. I would more lean towards Big Woo. So that's just what everybody calls me in the clubhouse, and it's just kind of what I go by.
Has Joni ever called you Big Woo?
No.
Come on now.
Wifey?
Yeah, that's his wife.
No. Yeah, she can't. I don't know. And if she did, I'd be like, that's kind of strange. That's only for the boys, Let the boys say that.
You would.
You're pushing your boundaries right now.
Kids?
No, not old enough yet. She wouldn't call you Big Woo.
No. She just turned 3 last Thursday, so yeah, she's growing up.
That could happen though, because she's at the ballpark. She hears it, right?
That'd be
And
great.
kids get a rise out of that too, right?
She's aware of what's going on. And honestly, yesterday was the first time that Joni has not watched me pitch a home, game at in Milwaukee since I've been up. That was the first one. She's back home in Mississippi. Kyler just started school, and this is my first September being by myself, and since I've been up. So I told her, I was like, well, you know what I'm going to say, like. You're just gonna have to stay home. So sorry, you're just gonna have to stick it out and hold it down in Mississippi until I get back home.
Looks like Joni's not invited into American
She's not
Fan
invited.
Field. Nope.
She's not invited.
Maybe the playoffs, just not when you're starting.
That's right. She can stay at home. That's fine. She can stay at home in Milwaukee.
Boy, you're barking up a tree. I know you can't climb.
I know. She knows yeah. I better be careful here.
You better be careful. Now, was she in the park when your boy Burnsy got taken out in the 8th inning? And did you say that's how Big Woo does it after your game last night?
No.
Come on, you didn't say anything to Burnsy.
No, nothing. Look, man, this game's so daggum hard. Like, look, just to be able to go out there and get outs like that it rarely happens. And you know how it works, man. That's why I don't try to not take an outing for granted. It's go out there pitch to pitch and just see what happens. And last night was a good outing, and Burnsy and the rest of the guys the other day in Yankee Stadium, it was unbelievable. It was nasty, and all I'm trying to do is just after a long game using the pen, I'm just trying to give our team a chance to win and get deep into the game. And that's my only thought, and it just worked out last night the way it did.
Okay, so wifey might have to, skip some starts to see if this continues.
Right,
and
right.
There are personal catchers in the sport. I don't think there are any personal third basemen, but we also did have a debut yesterday. So I'm wondering if for your next start, we have to see that same man at the hot corner for you.
Well, yeah, he made that nice play there in the, I believe it was the 2nd inning where he charged in, and we made the Marlins, use a challenge there early on. So, no, Josh made some great plays yesterday, man, and he's a ball of energy, and I think he's going to insert himself right in the middle of this lineup and do just fine for us. So it was good, kind of getting to the ballpark, getting a new guy, a guy that has done a lot in the game of baseball, won an MVP. So we're getting a great baseball player, and we're trying to take advantage of the stretch run.
Has he done anything crazy yet? In his long illustrious, you're waiting for it. I can see it in your eyes. You're waiting for something.
Not yet.
Everybody's heard Donaldson's stories.
Right. Him and Murph have already had their brief interactions early on. So, if you can imagine that, just, they played against each other. Well, Murph, when he was at Arizona State and Josh was at Auburn, Donaldson was from what he remembers, just how crazy Murph is, being a college coach, same guy as Kratz. Like, he hasn't changed in all these years. He's just talking about how he was in the dugout and how crazy he was. And then he said after the series, he's like, I guess this was in like the regionals or something. He's like, he's recruiting me to come play at Arizona State. He's like, look, man, he's like, I think you can come over here and play for me, So just all the stuff that Murph does, and it was kind of funny. So
incredible. What was it like to witness the no-hitter that just kept going on and ended up in an L? And overall, I also felt like the game didn't get that much national attention. Oh, it was Sunday, so it was week 1 of NFL, I guess. Yeah. But I was like, damn, this is like freaking crazy, and it didn't get a ton of pub.
It's kind of one of those games you can kind of tell early on, like it was going to be a good day for Corbin. I've gotten to watch him pitch a lot over the last few years, and you can kind of tell right from the beginning, like it's going to be a good day. And once you get through that 6th inning, that's when you start. I would say once you get through 6, that's when it starts getting a little. It might could happen. And of course, as baseball players, whatever we did the inning before, whatever went right, like we do the same thing. So, we're going through that whole routine, and then we're starting to play it out in our minds. Like, okay, what if we don't score here? Are they going to send him back out? Because then he would have to go back out for the 10th to complete it. You know what I mean? So, just the way the game unfolded was really, it was crazy, man. I've never seen anything like it, and I don't know if it was a record or anything in terms of what had gone on, but and then you got to play that Frelick and Weimer went after in right center.
yeah.
That was like unreal. It's like you got two wrecking balls coming in, and there was no way they were going to let that ball drop. And it's like we're sitting here in the dugout, and we're just witnessing like this has to happen, you know. Like even if it's an 11 inning no hitter, like this thing we have to pull this off. And you know, anyways, they ended up getting a hit, and we go into the 13th and ended up walking us off. But it was a crazy day. It could have been really, really special.
Those are special moments, and it's so rare to be involved, to be around one. Is Corbin one of those guys? I know I played with DeGrom. Every fifth day, it felt like he was, you know, if he was on, you could see those moments. Is Corbin kind of like that? So every fifth day you see him, you're like, oh, we're in for something special today.
Yeah, you can usually tell pretty early on, like, all right, he's got his stuff today. Look, he's a magician with spinning the baseball. Like that's what he does. Like, I do the two different fastballs, but he is like, he can basically invent breaking pitches and spin the crap out of it. Like that's just what he's good at. And, you know, once he gets going and he's locating that cutter well and he's throwing those breaking pitches off of it, man, it's really tough. And you can tell, like you said, it's pretty early on. And then it's like, man, if they scratch across a couple hits, it's like that's, you know, that kind of feels like a letdown in a way. It's like that's how good his stuff is. So yeah, you could tell pretty early on that it was going to be a good day. And once they come out swinging early, he's got that cutter that just doesn't find the barrel. So it's like easy, weak contact, ground ball outs. And yeah, man, it's pretty cool.
Oh, Woody, great catching up, man. Good to see you again. We'll see you again in a couple weeks or whatever it is. Obviously looking forward to it, and keep doing your thing. I mean, playoffs right around the corner, man.
Right. Let's make this a routine. Let's try to pitch well and hop on. So.
That's the routine. Hey, we'll do it. We have to do it once a week. We'll do it.
That's right.
If you hold us to it.
And we'll keep Joni out of the stadium.
Right. Keep her out of the stadium.
It works.
She might be watching right now. I don't know. I told her to tune in. If she'll have to take it.
Yeah, that's fair.
She might be mad. You just owe her a gift. That's all.
But if you're shoving, she'll lead it, and then she'll
Right.
save the day if she's needed. She'll come in there.
She's a baseball wife. She understands. She gets it.
Got it. Yep. Woody, good to see you, dude. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Take care.
Cheers. Brandon Woodruff of the Milwaukee Brewers with us on FT Live. Great way to get started. And Kiké Hernández is going to join us very, very soon. But man, Brewers have had a week.
And like they almost swept the Yankees. And that game that we were alluding to, the no-hitter / if they had gone to the 11th inning and gone 11 no hits, that would have been the record. Like they had an opportunity to break the record. And they were mitigating through the whole ghost runner, the zombie runner on second.
Exactly. To still allow no knocks. To
allow all that in Yankee Stadium, it was awesome. It was awesome.
That's what it the fact that they got through the Manfred runner on second base clean. I was like, come on, scratch a run across, please. For he owns it. Let him do it.
Hey, let's bring in our next guest. We're ready to go with Kiké Hernández of the LA Dodgers. Kiké, good to see you, dude. You holding off the hounds right now?
Yeah, holding off the hounds and the kid.
Which one barks louder?
Depends on the time of the day.
Okay. That's fair.
All right, so how's life? Well, let's see. I want to actually start with the trip back to Boston because we haven't talked since then. So, hey.
Sí, papá y Penelope. Don't hang up. It's okay.
Yeah, don't hang up, Penelope, please.
That's her favorite thing to do. Hang up.
Well, because so correct me, because the niece and nephew do this. They'll be watching a show on mom or dad's phone, and then a call comes in, and they're like, "Nope, watching the show." The red button gets rid of them. Is that the strategy there?
Pretty much. She loves calling people on FaceTime, and as soon as people answer, she'll hang up. She wants to see people.
Hello.
Hola.
It's like, whoa, this is more intense than FaceTime. There's graphics and a ticker.
But yeah, she discovered this new app. It's a streaming video one. It starts with a Y, and it ends with tube. And she discovered that it has a kids version. So she's pretty obsessed with that. So we can't even say the word at the house anymore.
I'm the same way. I have 2 young boys that we're not allowed to use that word, and they're only allowed to watch it when they're in the car on a long trip. So otherwise, they're obsessed.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Mom is by herself a lot while we're on the road, so sometimes she needs an emergency YOU tube, So she lets her have it on the phone. She doesn't know I have it on my phone, so we're trying to keep it in the low.
We have that emergency
for the most
every day. Every day.
For the most part, she's
that is. Maybe she's a big Foul Territory fan.
She might be an FC fan. I mean, she's got the $1 million smile going. So
don't hang up. There's
good defense going on right now. All right, so we'll see how you can do with this is like basketball. We'll see how you can play here while you fend off multiple friends at home. So okay, Boston first off, because I know we got a tight window. Tell me about how that trip was back, because obviously you go back there pretty soon after leaving there, but you're with the OG squad here. Not just for you, but also the Mookie Betts experience was a big deal out there as well.
Right. I think, I wasn't necessarily nervous. I was kind of anxious. I wanted to see everybody. I wanted to be back. It was kind of like the first time being back somewhere that I had spent some time before. I got to go to Houston the year after I got traded, and I was only there a month. And same with Miami. I got to go to Miami my first year with the Dodgers, and I was only there for like 6 weeks. So it wasn't necessarily the same. When I was with the Red Sox, I never got to play the Dodgers, so I never got to see those guys. And it was my first time going back to a place where I had been some time, and it was awesome, man. I got to say bye to a lot of the people that I didn't get to say bye at the time of the trade. I got to see a lot of familiar faces, but lucky for me, there was a bigger fish making a comeback, and all the attention went that way. So it was perfect. It was perfect for me because I was able to stay on the low, and it was Mookie's comeback tour, and of course Mookie went out and did his thing.
What did you think about the video / multi-video tribute that the Red Sox did for probably a guy that should have been a generational talent there?
It was great, man. It was great. First class organization, and they did their thing with the video, and then of course Mookie went on the field and did his thing afterwards.
But do you think they should have put Brazier in there too?
Yeah, was Brazier in that video with Mookie?
Brazier was in there.
Yeah.
Why don't they do it separate?
Why did they do 2 separate ones?
Give me, one inning, one the other. Or Brazier later on in the game. They put them together.
Hey, I play a lot of positions. That's not one of the ones I play. So.
True.
That's fair.
I didn't even get a video.
Well, yeah, that was what I was kind of alluding to too. What's the deal with that?
I don't know. They gave me an Instagram post that counts, right?
No.
And they gave you a bobblehead, Kiké. They
gave me a bobblehead after I got traded.
Yeah.
No. See, the Dodgers, when I left the Dodgers, they retired my number, and the Red Sox do a bobblehead after I leave.
That is incredible. I love it.
That's fair.
She likes looking at herself.
Oh, you're a star of the show here. She's gonna get a lot of attention here. All right, I want to ask you about...
Nobody, no.
Nobody.
Okay, bye, no.
Not yet. Give us 5. Give us 5. All right, so I wanted to ask you about Walker Buehler. He was coming back. I don't, obviously you know him well from. I don't know if you've spent a lot of time with him recently or how tight you're with him, but what insight can you give us on like how that was for him personally? Because he's working his way back. He's a game or two in that, like, he's one of those dudes in our generation that's like known for his like clutchness and playoff prowess and what he's done with you guys in the playoffs. So like, how bummed were you personally, the team, and what, have you spoken to him?
I mean, me personally, I was super bummed. Been looking forward to play behind that guy for a while now, and um, from what I hear, I think his the plan was for him to be out all year, and the idea of coming back this year was his own. He wanted to come back, and he wanted to be in a position where he could give us innings in October, and that tells you who Walker Buehler is. He's one of those guys that's the ace of a rotation, but come playoff time, he rises to the occasion every single time. He takes the ball in short rest. He's got a great arm. He's got great stuff, but man, it's Tommy John surgery, and it's the second one. It's not like it was like a little scope to clean out some bone chips or anything. It was a major surgery, and it was a second one, and just the fact that he was able to put himself in a spot where he could at least make some rehab appearances. It's more than the team expected, I think, and he's super bummed. But at the end of the day, he's got to look out for himself too. And next year is a big year for him. He can put himself in a great position to go out there in free agency and get what he's worth. And we're human, and our health comes first. And like I said, he's recovering from a major surgery, and for him to want to be there for us in October just tells you all you need to know about him and the competitor and the teammate that he is. And unfortunately, he's not going to be back this year, and of course he's super bummed about it, but he's in good spirits, and that's what it's all about.
With some of those injuries you have, especially to that pitching side, do you use a series like Atlanta where you see, it's kind of like the playoffs? Do you talk to those young guys? I know the Dodgers have like this perennial, contender, but in the September series against the Braves, it feels like a playoff atmosphere. Do you talk to those young guys and be like, hey, this is what it's going to be like, but even more intense? Do you use those moments to kind of show some of that youth on the pitching side how to handle those situations?
Not necessarily, man. At the end of the day, it's a regular season series. I'm a big believer in not making like things bigger than they are. I mean, if you make this series in September a super big deal, especially literally the first 2-3 days of September, you make it that big a deal. Come October, you face those guys. The magnitude is going to be that much bigger. The moment is going to be that much bigger. And I think to be able to succeed in October is just to play the same game you played for 6 months and not let the moment get too big. So, I mean, we cruised through August, man. I think we lost 4 games all of August. One of them might have been the last day of the month against the Braves. So September hasn't been that kind to us, but I think every good team needs to get punched in the face every once in a while to get to. Sometimes you need a rude awakening, and it seems like we're getting that. We're going through a rough stretch schedule wise. We went to the East Coast for a week, and we got a night getaway day in Miami, and then we get to DC late, and we get three rain delays. It was tough, but we gotta fight through it, and it's part of the grind of the 162 season, and figure out how to win tonight, win tomorrow, and then get a much needed day off on Thursday. But to your point about talking to the young guys, I think it's one of those things that you just see it happen, and if you see that a conversation needs to be had, then you go out of your way to do that. But I think you need to find out who the guys are, how do they carry themselves, how do they handle themselves, and you can say big moments, and we go from there.
That's beautiful. That's what I was going to follow up with is like some guys handle it differently that you don't have to approach anything. You can just let them shine when the lights are brightest. That's good to be able to recognize that each guy kind of has his own thing. is there anybody in particular that you see? I'm thinking on like starting pitching wise that can step up in those moments and have themselves like somebody I should be looking for to shine really bright.
I mean, Bobby Miller.
Yeah.
Before Bobby got the ball, Emmett Sheehan. I don't remember if it was game 2 or game 3 against them, or the 4-game series, but he dealt, man. He for 5 innings, he dealt. He gave up the homer with the aluminum bat to Acuna on a 3-0 count. But he made pitches, man. He made pitches all night, and he had him in between all night long. He had special fastball, and he has a couple of off-speed pitches, and it almost seemed like they were guessing all night long, and they couldn't figure him out. And he did a great job. I think that was his first start back since he got optioned. One of the first days I got to the team, and that was super refreshing to see Emmett doing that. And then Bobby, guys told me during the series that Bobby pitched really well against him in Atlanta, and then he takes the mound again on the day game at Dodger Stadium, and I think he went 7. Maybe he went 7. Gave up 1 or 2 runs, and they were like on solo shots. So we needed a big outing from him because we were about to get swept at home on a 4-game series, and he provided that. And from hearing that he did the same thing in Atlanta, it's good to know, and you can tell by the way he carries himself on the mound, and that he's got that dog in him, and he's a guy that reminds me a lot of Walker for many reasons.
Hey, Kiké, we're not going to go over, obviously, the situation off the field, but you played with Arias for a while, and I know that, Doc talked about him yesterday, and they cleared the locker out. Just for you guys, just on protocol, like, does the team talk to you about, hey, this guy's not going to be back, or is there anything that goes on behind the scenes with a teammate that's, going through a situation off the field?
We know absolutely nothing, man. We know what you guys know, and I'm being as transparent as I can be. We know absolutely nothing. We know what's out there, and we haven't been talked because the team doesn't know. The team is waiting to hear what's happening, and it's a very unfortunate situation for us, for him, for the victim, and hopefully we can get some clarity here in the near future. So, if the Red Sox had made a video, what would the video have been, and who would have the music have been? What kind of music would you want behind your Red Sox? Would it be you dancing? Would it be you making some sick plays? Would it be you hitting some dingers? Or what would it be? There was not a lot of dancing in Fenway. The dugout is way too small.
Okay.
My dance moves are super big, and there's not enough room to do that in that Fenway dugout. But I made some nice defensive plays my couple of seasons there, and I had some big moments offensively, especially in October of 21. So I think those videos could have been used, but I get it, man. There's like proposals every day at Fenway. Like there's a lot of things that they need to cover. So, I mean, like I said, it was a perfect situation for me because all the attention went away from me. It was not about me coming back, not one bit. It was more about Mookie, and that was the perfect case scenario for me.
But what song? I need a song. What song would you have wanted them to play?
More than likely, Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. Some Puerto Rican music, because the Puerto Rican fan base is already pretty upset about the fact that I got traded on Puerto Rican night at Fenway Park the same day.
Man.
I had to put out a statement telling the Puerto Rican fans to please don't burn the stadium. It was a total coincidence. It had nothing to do with it being Puerto Rican night, but yeah, it was.
No, that's good. Hey, you can do what your daughter wanted to do like 15 minutes ago. Just
off.
Smash that end button for us right
Oh.
there.
We got crayons, and she's breaking crayons so that I give her attention. But I'll be able to.
It's all her. All right, you hit the end button. Good to talk to you, dude. Good to catch up. We'll catch you in a few weeks. All right.
See you too. All right, sounds good, guys.
Cheers.
Talk to you later.
Kiké.
Bye.
Kiké Hernández with us on FT Live. Love it.
Almost wasn't on with us. Almost had, what did she end off or hit off? What was she saying?
And I don't remember what the
I
word
forget
was.
what she was saying.
End or off.
She said bye.
Bye. Oh, bye. That's what Pete Orr used to say. Pete Orr was like, he's like, bro, my son thinks I'm an app. Like when we played together, he's like, he thinks I'm an app because he only ever talks to me when we're on the iPad. And so he's just like, we're talking and he's like, I can see his hand. He wants to swipe me to the right. Like, he's like, this is when I needed to quit.
The ultimate.
He's trying to cut you off the team. Anyway, Kratzy always makes the Shady Rays team. As you can see, he is lined up and ready to go. Jerry, this man is always ready to either go outside or look like he is the ultimate boss of security at the line at the club. Yes, exactly. Kratz, we need you to. Well, we're actually capped out here. We have maximum capacity right now. Can you give me the? Yeah.
After the show, he'll sign after the show. It's Jerry Blevins.
In all seriousness, Shady Rays independent sunglasses company offering world-class product, just as good as any expensive pair that you've worn, but they don't make you break the bank in that department. Also, the lost and broken replacements plan is there for you, aka if you lose a pair, you break one on day one. They told us they'll send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. We'll hook Jerry up so he's got a little action next time around. What's the weather like out there, by the way?
It's beautiful fall in the Midwest. It's like 78.
Perfect. And sunny.
And sunny, correct.
Yeah, of course it is. This is why you need these.
Not
always
too sunny,
sunny.
though.
Always
sunny. Shady Rays.
Yes, it would be.
Always sunny in this remote destination in Pennsylvania. That's all I'll say. And for our Foul Territory listeners, watchers, however you're getting the show, this is just for you. Use the code FOUL, F-O-U-L, at shadyrays.com for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized shades. Try for yourself the sunglasses rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. All right, let's get some Jerry perspective on this story as we want to jump into the news that we heard about Alek Manoah, who's going through it this year. And I will say, there's your hot corner. We're sizzling. One of my favorite players to watch over the last couple years. Like he's a big dude. He eats innings, bulldog mentality. Right away into the league, Alek Manoah's like, yo, you want to fight me? Like, bring it. I'm 6'6", like brings the heater, kind of old school mentality when he entered the sport and just has not been able to find it this year. And according to Jeff Blair, who covers the team for Sportsnet, he said Manoah never reported to AAA when he was optioned on August 11th because he was upset about the decision. He reportedly has not even been throwing bullpens or side sessions. It's unlikely that he'll pitch in a game again this year. Now, this is a full month later. I'm actually surprised the news didn't come out sooner. I'm sure we'll have more context on this, and the frustration level is high for him. But Jerry, your thoughts on this? And also, I mean, there's got to be some type of agreement, I figure, with the team because you can't just not show up if you're not hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. You know, I've been a fan of Manoah for a long time. I like the way he approaches the game. I like the excitement. I think it's good for baseball. This one is a tough look for me, though, because I've been on that end. I've been sent down, option down, whether I felt it was necessary or not. You got to show up, and they give you 3 days. You get 3 days to report, and some of those days I made sure that I took them because it was like a mental rest, not just logistics of getting to your other city, but it's for you to show up and not be a bitter teammate because you don't want to go to AAA. There's guys down there that are working their butts off too, that think that they're being left behind. You don't want to be a bitter teammate at all. And so it's strange. I hope there's a little bit of story behind it on why he didn't show up or why he's not throwing. They said that they had to put him on the restricted list so they can bring somebody up because he was just soaking up a spot. It's a tough look for me that he didn't come out and show up for his guys in AAA because they're trying to do the same thing. Baseball's a grind. It's not just about you. It's a team sport. And so that's the hard part for me is seeing Manoah kind of diss his teammates in AAA. So I hope he's okay. I hope there's a deeper story to it, but that for me is a tough look.
I always felt like that 3 days that they put in there under the CBA, like I always said, you know what, I'm gonna take my 3 days, whether it's me showing up. You can sometimes you can show up the next afternoon, like that afternoon, like for the end of the night game if you get fired in the morning. But for me, like that 3 days was always like, even if I'm there, if by the end of those 3 days you're not mentally checked in, you're exactly what you said, Jer. Like you're doing a disservice to not only your career, but the other dudes that are out there grinding it out. And it's it can be a selfish time because you're pissed about not being in the big leagues and getting sent down. But there's 26 other guys in AAA that are like, dude, I haven't even been to the big leagues, or I should be up there too. And you're right. You need those 3 days, but yeah, I hope it's not. I hope the organization comes out and says something. This was just Jeff Blair, reporting it. You'd want to see the organization come out and say something and be like, we had a talk. There's some mental resets here because he was in the All-Star game last year. He was mic'd up in the All-Star game last year, and now he's getting sent down to AAA on August 11th.
Also, my problem, though, is that when you're not transparent about what's going on and you let it linger for a while, you allow other people to control the news. That's the one issue. So if the team would come out and say something, and now it's come out already, still a response from the team to clarify what's going on really helps. You also, I think there would have been scrutiny regardless, but you could say, hey, you know what? Just couldn't get things right on a lot of fronts. It's not hurt. We're just decided to shut it down. I think people would have said, okay, because what he's doing right now is not helping the big league club. You're running out of time at this point, and you just do a reset. You don't even have to give that much context after that, right? It doesn't have to be an injury. It doesn't even have to be, he's stepping aside. He's going through it mentally. None of that has to be explained. Like, we saw what happened on the field. If they just said, hey, we decided mutually to shut it down, that's okay too. To me, when you get this story, it means the Jays want him there and he doesn't want to be there. And there's some tension between the two sides.
Something. And again, we're creating this narrative.
Because we don't know.
Because they don't. And this is probably our fault for not paying attention to exactly what happens in every single transaction of all 30 teams. We should have heard about this on August 17th.
Correct.
And just make a statement. Just make a statement. This is what this is about. It's real. I struggled this year. I didn't struggle. Or even, I don't want to talk about it. This is something that me and the team are going to work through together. Or me and Manoah, we're going to work this together. We talked to his representatives, and this is where we're going from here. We don't need an answer. Just say something.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. So we'll probably cover it tomorrow if we get any more news, because I'm sure all the writers and insiders now are hopping on this and making their phone calls. So I want to hit your thoughts on the David Stern story. Both you both have good connections to this, of course, and we got to talk to Brandon Woodruff right off the top. Before that, let's do a little quickie hit on our Bet MGM Locks for Tuesday. I'm cold.
Oh, save it. Jerry, this guy he was 7 in a row, and he's lost 2 in a row now.
Correct.
So this is his humble brag.
You're hot right now, though.
I've won a couple,
2 or 3 in a row.
I still need to get above 500.
I understand, but you're close, and the money looks good. So let's introduce Jerry to this. Your BetMGM Locks for Tuesday. So let's start with the heater.
Well, how about I go first so
Okay.
that I can show Jer, and then Jer can be like,
Are you telling the heater today?
I'm not telling you.
Yeah, so you guys got to explain it. I am a complete
you.
amateur novice gambler.
I wish I could
play fantasy football. That's me.
No, that's
I
great.
wish we could say the same, but we know what we're doing.
I was in your about 6 months ago. I was in your boots, and now I'm fully hooked.
Yeah,
I can feel it.
he's good. He's good.
But anyway, no. So for me, I picked the same game. The Twins, they just strike out a ton. So the Twins are playing the Rays, and what I do is I pick K props. So I buy down strikeouts for each team. Now somebody has a clunker, I don't do well, But so I just go by the numbers. It's really a boring pick, but I just see my dollars continue to go up. And I was 15 games under 500. I was looking terrible. I was looking like the Nats in 2019. And now, I might win the World Series. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
for some people, you're winning them a World Series ticket.
I'm going, it's big. It's big cashish. But I'm going, Zach Littell is giving me 4 strikeouts. Joe Ryan is giving me 5. Joe Ryan's hit that mark in 11 of 13 games. And Littell has hit that mark in 7 of 10 games, which I love that, but he's facing the Twins, and you just struck out 2 Twins just while you were on this show. All right, Jerry. So that's That's how
good.
this works for you.
All right, let's swing it over to me. I got the Cubbies. I think after a kind of a let's fucking go win for them yesterday.
Yeah, that was big.
A lot of button pressing that went correct for them to pull off a dub, plus new Pete Crow-Armstrong, who I think is going to have a night. What, you're laughing because
No, go ahead. It's a different story. His debut, Pete Crow-Armstrong. Not many people can say they pinch ran for their debut and got caught stealing third base.
Yes,
we'll see you.
But he's
You set a record.
That's
Is that a record?
Has to be.
I don't know. That's like the Happy Gilmore take the skate off and try to stab somebody with it.
That's exactly what it was.
The dude can pick it in the outfield, so get ready for his debut, the full thing. Okay, put him in that starting lineup. I got Cubs money line plus Javier Assad, just 3 Ks or more, because the props got him at 3.5. So I'm buying down a strikeout with the Cubs win at plus a hundo. So we'll see what happens there. Plus the K projections I usually use have them at like 4.5-ish. So I'll go plus a hundo there. What you're seeing from Jerry is a great serious picture with his poker face, but also he is telling our FT heater, if you're new to the party, if you go to the BetMGM app right now, if you're in a state where you can do it, we have Zach Wheeler to record 7 strikeouts or more and the Phillies to win tonight against the Braves. Now, usually that would get you at plus 185, but you get the FT heater boost, which means that you now have the odds in your favor at plus 225.
That is so big.
Yeah, that's the thing here. I don't know betting, but I do know Zach Wheeler can spin it, and he's playing against his hometown team. He's a Georgia boy. He wants to go down. This is important. Having been in that same clubhouse with him, this guy is a competitor. I know that. So I'm following my boy Zach Wheeler there.
Thank you. And also, Kratz did the homework. I mean, he's hit that strikeout tally against his hometown team a lot.
A lot. The last 7 games in a row, he's gone 7 or higher.
Yeah.
And it's like 9 out of his last 11, 7 or higher. So I like that for you, Jer. Big money for you.
Hey, the bonus code is FOUL200. Jamie Foxx helping us out here. Looking good, Jamie.
I like the velvet jacket, Jamie.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
It's cashmere.
Place your first BetMGM sportsbook wager through the app, at least $10, and you'll receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And again, just today, every Tuesday, the FT heater looks like that. It's a Lions boost for all the Leos out there. No, I have no idea how that's the first, but it is an FT heater. Plus 185, boosted to plus 225. So if you're watching the Phils Braves game tonight and you want a little action towards it, Phils to win, 7 Ks plus. I'm going to bang that right after the game and hit a little FT heater, max it out there. So now let's finish off news topics with David Stearns. So congratulations to the, worst kept secret in baseball. First, let's cover the Mets side of this. Jerry, you do a lot of work covering the New York Mets. Your thoughts on this? And also, I will just point out the timing for Jets fans, because there are many Mets fans. There's a lot of crossover there. They had a fun but then devastating 24 hours with them losing their quarterback. They need some hope. And Steve Cohen, I don't think that's exactly why it happened, but the timing of it is nice. And
he read the room.
He gets brownie points for making this into news on a day when there is definitely a lot of sobbing from Jets fans. So welcome to the party, 38-year-old David Stearns, president of baseball ops, to run the Mets into their next playoff baseball team.
I saw a lot of tweets on my feed from Mets fans saying, like, let's protect this guy's Achilles. I think he can do his job even with a torn Achilles. I think he can come through. But it's a big signing. It's a good thing, because ironically or very Mets-like, they've made it public for the last few years that he's been their target. The Brewers said you can't talk to him. He's under contract, all these things. But he's been their target. He's the guy that they want. When they brought Sandy Alderson over to be the president, they wanted somebody to step in and take over that role. And he's a local guy. He's a Manhattan-born guy. He wants to root for the Mets growing up. This is like either the greatest thing ever or a little bit scary. But I think he's made it perfect transition, because Mets fans finally get who they were targeting. I think they've done a decent job of holding down the fort until then, but to finally get the guy that you've been going after to kind of set the entire table, because the president of baseball ops, he's going to delegate everything that goes on in the organization, from scouting, from player development, from amateur scouting, all the above. And they think they have their guy, a super smart guy. I'm sure Kratzy can attest to that. I think it's a great fit. And it's very exciting news for me that covers the Mets, because I think it's the right direction. And I think Mets fans should be very happy. And I think they are today, regardless of their Jets fandom or not. It's a good day to be a Mets fan.
It is a good day to be a Mets fan. There's very few people in baseball that you're like, man, like I can really back this guy. Most GMs have this like arrogance that you're like, I just don't know how to take him. Stearns has that confidence without it being arrogant, and he has such a connection, one-on-one connection. Is that going to be tough in New York City? No, because he's from there. He understands. The way you have connection in baseball is you have to be able to connect with so many people. He can understand how to connect with Scott Braun. He can understand how to connect with a backup catcher. He can understand how to connect with a reliever. And that's when you bring that into New York City, when you bring that into the organization that has lacked, in my opinion, from an outsider standpoint, lacked this severely, because it's been that like, well, we're the Mets, and I'm the this is my job title with the Mets. I don't need to have this like holier than thou kind of thought process. We all make mistakes, and he does such a good job of saying, hey, you know what? Maybe I did make a mistake there. And that is refreshing. And I think it's going to be refreshing for New York. And the best part is for Stearns. He's basically grown up in this position as a kid going to the candy store with his own money in his pocket and being like, okay, well, I'm going to buy this. Now, Uncle Steve is like, hey, here you go. Here's your money. And he's going to be like, I'm going to buy one of these. I'm going to buy one of these. I'm going to get this. This is going to work out well. And it really is going to be exciting to watch, because the Mets don't want a World Series. The Mets want to supplant the Yankees as the most popular team in baseball. And with a guy at the helm like Stearns, who's only 38 years old, it's not like you're getting a decrepit GM who's got like 1.5 more years at the helm and is just going to buy every free agent and see what happens. He's going to build this thing to the point that I think he could do the job that Cashman has done with the Yankees. And that is the success that I think the Mets are looking forward to.
Yeah, I think that you nailed it on a couple of fronts. One being that they want a World Series, but more importantly, they want to be in a position to contend for a World Series year in, year out. You think about when Friedman left Tampa to go to LA, they wanted something like that because they have the smarts to build it from within, and now they have the pockets to build it and create it from free agency. They can fill those gaps there. I think that was the key. But Kratzy, you mentioned his ability to connect. Now, I haven't met Stearns personally, but there was a guy that resonated, that made me think of that when you said that, is Farhan Zaidi. When I was in Oakland, yes, he was coming up. This guy is smarter than everybody I've ever been around, but he could talk to me at my locker and chat about anything, connect, and be able to speak to guys that speak Spanish and relate to them and transfer what he's thinking organizationally, what they need out of you. And he says, hey, can you do this for us? And that ability to communicate is what I loved about Farhan. And you can see the success that he's having in San Francisco. If that's what you're getting from David Stearns, an ability to be not only the smartest guy in the room, but be able to communicate that to an individual basis. And whether they're a high school graduate, whether they come from the Dominican, whether it's, somebody that's graduated from an Ivy League school, to be able to communicate what you want from them is a big step. So if he can do that, I think there's good things in the future for the Mets.
Well, I don't know, you don't know Stearns. I know Stearns and Zaidi, and Farhan is exactly how you said it, and they are both in the same ilk. So you should be excited as a Mets fan.
Good. That's great.
Yeah, except Jerry said he's got fantasy football, and Zaidi apparently was like
is a legend.
Yeah, a legend.
I text him. I still
like
text
kicked out
him
of
for
leagues or something like that because he's too good, which is insane. Because don't tell NFL owners because they might hire him to be a GM. Just
it might pay a tick more, but I think the Giants won in there too. But yes, he is a savant.
Let's slap.
We can do it right here.
I know, but I like.
That was for me.
Yeah. Kratz said we can do slap hands for real, but my thing is one is for Jerry, and then also it's for the FT fam. That's
but I never have anybody here
afterward, right? I know you.
Normally,
you
I'm so lonely, like Jerry is. Look how lonely he looks. Although that hair doesn't look lonely.
Yeah.
So the days when
you've got all the muscle, I'll take the hair.
Is that really? See, I have hair. My issue is I have hair. I just got too tall for my hair. Trees don't grow past a certain like. Look how much taller I am than Scott.
Well, if you had hair, you'd be out of the shot. So
that's just all eyebrow. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's just where it stops. Yeah, it's just
gotcha.
From here down. Like the altitude got too high.
All right, ready for this? So this is pretty new, but we are on AMP. You can get the app, free $99, as in free. Someone said the other day. Did you say $3.99? No, free.
No, free.
At Foul Territory.
$0.
If you want to follow us and listen to the show live on the go, it's like radio on your phone. And then you can also call in. So we have our caller for the day at the end of the show. And you can unmute yourself and say, what's up? So what's your name? What's your favorite team? And what is your question or comment?
What's up, guys? My name's Ellie. My question is, which team do you think will take the final spot in the AL and in the wild card race?
Okay. Thank you, Ellie. Good stuff. Are you ready, prediction-wise, for what you want? Final AL and NL wild card position?
I mean, if Jerry, do you want me to take it first, and then you can?
Yeah, please do. Show me how it's done.
Oh, well, I don't know. Show how it's done.
I can do it. I got mine already.
Okay, go ahead.
So for the American League, the way I have it shaking out is, I think the Blue Jays. What were you going to say? Seattle. Well, no, but they don't take. He said who takes the last wild card. I got Astros winning the division, Mariners 2, and I know the Rangers took it to the Blue Jays last night, but I still think the Rangers are in a bad spot with pitching right now, and there's not much you can fix on that front. I do like the little Evan Carter boost, and they beat him up pretty good yesterday. And I took the L on that one on multiple fronts. And they got to Bassett, but I still got the Blue Jays taking that third wild card. So that's my AL. National League right now, and obviously this is going to change like by the second. But
every day.
Yeah. For me, it's Cincinnati. I have the Reds getting in just based on schedule watching. I'm looking at schedules, and I've got the Reds. Where are we at right now? 2 out, okay? San Francisco 1.5, Miami 1.5, Philly, Cubs, Arizona. I've got Cincinnati taking it from Arizona down the stretch. There's my one little upset shocker right there.
I love Arizona.
I love that.
I love Arizona.
The Reds are an exciting team. That would be really fun to watch.
And it's ironic that our caller's name was Ellie, and you picked the Reds. So did Ellie De La Cruz? Did Ellie De La Cruz just make his first appearance? Was that Ellie calling in on AMP? Is Ellie a big?
Ellie's
AMP?
A big AMP guy. Yeah.
I can't pick the Reds.
Why?
Only because I look at the Diamondbacks pitching. And yes, they're got to play 5 games. Yes, they have to roll out 3 other pitchers. But when you're trying to do this, you're only trying to go 3-2 the rest of the year, each 5-game stint. They have 4 5-game stints left, and they want to go 3-2 each time. And you have a really good chance because you have Merrill Kelly, who has been pitching really well.
Yes.
And you have your boy, absolute Zach Gallen, without anything but a ZAC Zach. Like, this man is locked in, and I just think that combination is over the long haul of the last 20 games here. And this is exactly why I think the Giants will be the last of all those teams. I think they'll finish just ahead of the Padres, way out of it.
Yeah, but I have the Giants out. Yep.
But I really think it's between Arizona and Miami, but I think Arizona's getting in.
Miami's a tough call.
That's where I came in. I think Miami, man. I've been kind of on that.
Okay.
If Soler comes back and he can hit on top of their rotation, if Sandy comes back and is a little bit of a form of what he had. I don't think that will happen, but I mean, they can do anything. They've got some big guns, and if Soler can provide that pop, I think they can do some damage there. They've got a good back end of their bullpen. And then in the American League, give me Toronto. I've been on them all year long. I do love Bassett, so I got a little bit beat up last night too because I root for him. He's an Ohio boy, one of the best teammates you'll ever have. But I think I still love what Toronto can do, and I'm a fan. I think Gausman might be the most underrated pitcher in the American League. He's nasty. So give me the Blue Jays and the Marlins sneaking it out.
Okay, so we're looking at each other like, should we tell him? Should we tell him? And it's a little bit of inside word.
Sandy?
Well, with the Marlins, Sandy and Jorge Soler, we spoke to someone with the Marlins. It doesn't sound like either of them are coming back for the regular season, period.
Just today.
So
we got to make it without him.
We just talked to someone today, and that's 2 big losses. So here, and I'll give you this real quick just for context. The Marlins right now are in the midst of a series against the smoking hot Brewers. Then they have the Braves this weekend, the Mets next week, the Brewers again the weekend after that, then Mets and Pirates to finish, okay?
That's a tough schedule.
That's a tough schedule,
tough.
okay? Here, rank this. Diamondbacks, they're in the middle of a Mets series. Cubs this weekend, Giants next week for 2. Then Yankees, White Sox. Okay, a little bit of a break, although the Yankees are not a pushover right now. They finished with the Astros, who I think probably it'll be tight enough that they'll still have to, be playing some serious ball. Reds have Tigers starting tonight, Mets this weekend, Twins early next week, Pirates, Guardians, Cardinals. And that is why I have the Reds just sneaking one out there.
What's the Giants schedule?
Who cares? They're not making it.
Hey, I believe in that.
You believe in Farhan, but he can't make any moves. Yeah,
they're smart though.
I'm disappointed in your boy Farhan though. No, they're smart, but
the strength of schedule is important. The strength of schedule is important, and that's why and I'm obviously leading up. I'm maybe burying the lead. If the Diamondbacks get in with their 2 pitchers that they are going to ride, and they make it through this stretch of playing plus 500 teams, I'm going to get some plus money. I'm just saying.
It's a good time to look at futures. It's a good time to look at futures. Right now, real quick, and then we'll get out of here. San Francisco's playing the Guardians right now. They have the Rockies for 4 into the weekend. That's good. But then the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers next week. That's a 4-gamer against the Dodgers. Then the Padres, who are just so loose, loving life right now last night. And then the Dodgers again. So that's not easy.
I might love your Reds if they can pull this off.
Just trying to sell the case. Plus, we have big news about the Reds coming up on this show soon. I continue to tease that, but I think we're going to announce it soon. Anyway, join AMP. Follow at Foul Territory if you want to be like Ellie De La Cruz or Ellie the Caller. And call us and let us know your questions, comments, or concerns. All right. So for Wednesday's show, I won't be here. A 1-day step aside. Yes, I know. So Kratzy will run the ship.
We do.
Run the ship. Pierzynski's back. Britt Giroli will be hosting tomorrow, and Paul Sewald and Ken Rosenthal will be on the show. So you guys will be fine. You'll be in good hands. Jerry, did you have fun, dude?
I did. It was great, man. This is a fun format and so down to earth. It's a lot of fun.
Appreciate it. And then we always do the music just like the award ceremony to play us off. So it's great. But you were awesome. Great to have you. Obviously, invite you back. Would love to have you again.
It.
And cheers to everyone. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever. And we, not me, will see you on Wednesday on FT Live.
It's going to be like Lord of the Flies on here. We're going to have just fires in the corner. Like we're not going to know what to do. Scott's gone.